Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Beautiful day. This is nice. It's not cold today, but now I'm in pants and a long sleeve thinking it's going to be chilly, and of course it's not. Avs dropped one last night. They're down 3-2. Let's see what they're made of. It's hockey. I try not to talk trash about any teams except for Canada, but that's just a little love for all my Canadian viewers. By the way, it's been 10,000 some odd days since you guys have won the Stanley Cup. I just thought I'd let you know. But I was having breakfast with my neighbor, and, people know the show in town, and I'm certainly not a celebrity in any way, shape, or form, but you get recognized, and upon occasion at breakfast, people come up and they'll say, well, I'm feeling really bad, or they'll tell me to go to hell. In this case, it was, I'm feeling really bad. I don't like where the country's going. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Republicans that much. But I also am not very happy with Joe Biden and liberals and Democrats and everything else. And as I sat there and I tried to find the words to help this wonderful person, this friend of mine, cope with the conflict that is in all of us, which is that we're seeking answers for questions that ultimately the forebearer of knowledge is not where we're digging or where we are trying to uncover the truth. I don't know when this happened. And I would like to think that it happened with Camelot, with John F. Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy Onassis. Because at that point, we stopped focusing on the merit of what a politician could do while they represent us in Congress, in state legislature, city council, or in the most heralded office in the free world, which is the President of the United States. We stopped looking at them as vessels for the constituents' promise and the constituents' motives and the aspirations of the people back home. And we started looking at them as vassals of monarch proportions. The pomp and circumstance, the regal gowns, the balls, the summer dresses, the fall dresses, how Armani looked versus Hugo Boss, or any of the other pomp and circumstance, rich, uppity, elite crap that has nothing to do with American politics. And there's a reason why we fought a revolution, to get the powdered wigs and rosy cheeks and flamboyant dressings out of our politics. Because there's nothing worse than theocratic rule through a monarchy. And we changed. And I don't blame the Kennedys for this, because when you don't have a lot of political substance, you get by on good looks and oration. We know this from Obama. Although not a great political mind, one hell of an orator, and essentially were, without bringing this to race, the black Kennedys for the African American population in the United States, and to a lot of white people too. Obama's had that polish, that family unit that the Clintons didn't have, a dysfunction of epic proportion. And we truly haven't really seen that. And then Trump came in with a very powerful and rich family, but they were despised by the American public who weren't already in the corner of Donald Trump. And it really comes down to that with a politician. It's either about their politics and their ideology, or it's about their celebrity. And I truly believe that both of those things are not the proper categorical hierarchy that we should be focusing on. My whole focus for a politician isn't who I like or dislike, or who I think is rich or not rich. What I look for is meritocracy. What have they done for me lately? And if they haven't, that's a good thing. Because I don't believe government should be on our lives where we can feel them, see them, and smell them. In fact, I think we should treat them like the smelly guy in class, get as far away from government as we possibly can, or treat them like mushrooms, feed them shit and keep them in the dark. But if government is going to encroach upon our lives, it must only be for the benefit of Americans, not to the detriment. And it seems now that we've shifted our focus from what can the government do for us to make our lives prosper, or to settle a conflict which can't be disputed on the city, local, state, municipality, town level, where the federal government must come in order to settle something where all other avenues have been attempted. Whether that be the border conflict or a tornado or fentanyl or someone running a train line and burning liquid plastic into the atmosphere and poisoning fish, whatever it may be, and then obviously not showing up, but going to Ireland instead. Anyway, the government has a responsibility to enable the populace, to protect the populace, but not restrain the populace. In fact, that's antithetical to the Constitution. So when my friend was sitting across from me with tears in her eyes and asking me, I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am anymore when it comes to what I believe and what I don't. And herein lies the problem. Less than 2 generations ago, 96% of the world believed in a higher being. And whether you follow Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, Mormonism, the defense mechanism, whatever it is, whatever ism you embrace, 96% of the population not only believed in a higher power, but believed in something after today. And we all know that tomorrow is promised to no man, but that's not true. Tomorrow was never promised to mortal men. But immortality was promised to those who were righteous in pretty much all religions. There isn't, you either come back as a random tree or a bird or an animal, or you go up in a giant space machine, or you go to heaven and get surrounded by decas of virgins, or you go to the pearly gates and you're judged by St. Peter for access, or whatever other religion you happen to believe in. Maybe you go to Mount Olympus with Zeus and throw lightning bolts at various targets on the planet. I don't know, whatever you believe. And I'm not mocking you, I simply just am not read into every religion on the planet. And that's probably a good thing. Talk about being confused enough already. But the one thing that I know for sure is that the belief in something else is slowly dying. In fact, Christianity is on a downward trajectory, and it is dwindling at a rapid rate, saying that in 20 years, there will be more non-believers than believers, which is a scary, scary number. I'm not a religious man. I am a penitent man. And I do believe is that there is something. And whether you want to call that Jesus, or you want to call that God, or Brigham Young, or Buddha, or in some weird cases with the Necronomicon, call him Beelzebub or Lucifer, or Satan, weirdos, our belief is dwindling. And this is not a video to say, go find God, go embrace God. I struggle myself. But this video is to make you aware that there are two very distinct parties in the United States where we're looking for spiritual leadership from, and one is not the answer. And that is most assuredly, unequivocally true. Any party that condones the murder of 67 million fetuses, children, unborn, say it any way you want, it's not pro-choice. The opposite of pro-life is pro-death, in this case pro-murder. because those deaths are not natural. In fact, they go against the order of nature. They go against God's law and nature's law. Anyone that wants to sexually reassign a 6-year-old's genitalia is not on the right side of things. Anyone that focuses on mass shootings when it's convenient for them, but ignore the homicides that are 10, 20, 30 times more frequent in the cities that they run, they're not on the right side of things. Anyone that says a man is not a man and a woman is not a woman and decides to go ahead and subjugate women to something that they've already fought, which is the right to be considered equal, something that we are fighting across the world, and then subject them to the uttermost humiliation by saying that their femininity is not exclusive to them, but subjective to somebody's wanton needs to be something that they're not, is ridiculous. The lies perpetuated, the corruption is running rampant on all sides. And when we look to people who are corrupt for spiritual leadership, dare I say, it's why Willie Nelson's beard is all brown and soggy, because he's looking for love in all the wrong places. America is in a struggle, a fight between good and evil, the immoral and the moral, love and hate. And although there's only one party projecting these type of things and truly saying it, they're not saying it in a way that's obvious. They are redirecting things that they're doing and saying and blaming the other side. The truth is that America is pissed off. There is a group of people who believe in God, who believe in Christianity, or believe in whatever religion they have, and they are not scared. They are not afraid. And the one thing that the Democratic Party has against all others is fear, and they sell it constantly. Joe Biden's announcement address told us that. With the smoke-filled Capitol, and saying that we're not going to divide amongst blue and red anymore, and then literally go ahead and take half the country and call them extremists and fascists. The other side has lost God, has lost belief in something else. And when you have lost faith that tomorrow is here, you lose consequence. And when you lose consequence, you lose law and you lose order. You lose consciousness. You lose morality. Because if tomorrow is promised to no man, then what does it matter what we do today? Does it matter if we cheat on our wives? Sorry, was going back to the Mormons. Just kidding, joke, humor, stop it. You can laugh at yourself. Cheat on your wife, is it okay? If you can beat your kids? Go ahead and not pay your taxes. Just go ahead and take a dump in the middle of the street. Is that okay? Because if tomorrow doesn't matter, then what does it matter what we do today? This is the conundrum that we're in as a society. This is why people do things that are against the natural and God-given order of life. And instead of looking to Republicans and Democrats who perpetrate and perpetuate these ungodly and unnatural things, maybe we should start looking to the person sitting across from us at the table, the person with tears in their eyes, and ask them why. Not assume they're crying because they don't necessarily like what you're saying, or they don't like you, or they don't like your MAGA hat, or they don't like your Democrat shirt that has a big giant D on it. Maybe they're scared because they have no one to talk to. Maybe they've lost their way. And as the sheep who have lost the shepherd, we would feel safer if we would just look around us and see that everyone else was feeling the same way. And that ultimately the shepherd is not something that we need. What we need is to protect the flock. And when the shepherd is away, it's our job, because one wolf can't enter the flock and do damage if all the sheep stand together. We have an obligation to our fellow men and women to put our politics away. They aren't sports teams. They're not celebrities. We shouldn't have bumper stickers and hats and shirts. We shouldn't go ahead and have false prophets and false idols and deities outside of the only person that we should be speaking to is the person across from us and whatever God you worship. And if you don't, then your option is still godly. And that is human connection. It is the one thing we don't have. We reach out through liquid crystal screens and 1s and 0 digital landscapes at super stream bandwidth in order for us to try to reach people faster, quicker, with more content and more words, when ultimately it's prosthetic and it will never replace the one thing we need: human connection. And once again, whether you find that in church, whether you find that in a diner, or whether you find that surrounded by the ones that you love, we are looking for love in all the wrong places. And we are assigning our souls to the wrong people. It's just something I was thinking about today, and I thought I would share it with you. So Anna, I love you. There's no reason to cry. I promise you this, the United States will still be here tomorrow. It'll still be here the next day. But the question is, will the soul of America be with it? And that is the question that we're all searching for, and none of us have the answer to. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. You can stop by and not buy Navy and Avalanche stuff, but you can go and pick up some coffee. You can pick up a cool coffee mug at the Don't Unfriend Me store at thedumbshow.com. Yes, because capitalism is godly, folks, and it's awesome. So please go do that. Buy some stuff. Say hello and follow, like, share, and subscribe. We will not be live tonight, taking the night off, but I will see you Friday with a recorded show and a live video as well on Friday night. God bless. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show, and I will see you next time.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important, you are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call